just doing an installation video for the Cotta pots. Now, if you have seen the last installation video, there's just a couple of changes on that. So when you get your Cotta pot mix, you'll get a bucket. It'll have the Cotta pots in it. It'll have a bag of all your little attachments in it, some tubing, and some instructions. Now, most importantly, do not cut the zip ties. The zip ties are there because even though it runs on real low pressure, there's still pressure in there that, yeah, do not cut the zip ties, okay? So when you first get them out of the bucket, unwrap them, and then figure out where you're going to put them. Now we're just doing a really small box here. We're going to put 3 in here. We could probably actually get away with just putting 2 into this box actually. But for sakes of doing a demonstration, I'll do the 3. You'll see in this box over here, we've got 12 down here, and so we've got 2 lines. So you have to have a little bit of think about where you're going to put them. But this one's really quite easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the tees. That's where the bucket's going to go. We're going to have the tees there. They just literally sit on top like that. We're going to have a tee here. They just go on top like that. And now this is the last one. So we're going to put the 45 because this is where the water's not going to come out the end of it anymore.
Stop.
Once you've done that, now we've obviously got the tap already attached, but you would just attach some hose to the front of that, exactly the same thing, just push it in nice and seated, push it into there so the tap's off, and then now we're just going to start putting this in. The other thing is that you want sharp scissors or sharp shears. Okay, so you just see that there. Hopefully that's coming into focus. See how it's oval shape? That really has to be round. Okay, so those scissors actually aren't the best. So now that's round again, that's nice and round there. We can just put this in. This will be what causes leaks if you're going to have them in the system. Okay, and then we're going to push this into there, once again making sure it's really nicely seated in. Now a little trick also with when you're putting the layout here, even though technically I could just use that amount, you've got plenty of cord, okay, pipe. You could just get away with using that amount. Use a bit more because, as I'll explain in a minute, it means that if you need to move them or change the position of them or take them out to check them, you can do that easy. So once again, that's just pressing in nicely. That's pressing in nicely there. Nice bellbird in the background, not sure that anyone heard that. Once again, we're going to use a bit more here than what we need. Making sure that's nice and round. Pushing it in nice and tight. And nice and tight there. And now we're just going to dig them in. And so you just want it, so that's it. Just a little bit of the plastics showing. Now this bed's actually quite moist because we've just we've just made it up fresh with our lasagna soil mix. So if you need a soil recipe to put into your beds, let us know and we'll email you one. That's it. Now the other thing is, don't press down like that because you could crack the pots, okay? So now that you've got that in, you probably want to maybe wash your hands. But what we can do is we can turn the tap on now. And now what we want to do is we're going to just undo this. We have to bleed the system. So we have to get the air out of the system. And you see, it's already coming up, so we'll just if you don't bleed the system, it'll take, you know, a week for the water to actually seep through and get the air out. Right, that one's good to go. And you see now that we're putting pressure on this one here, Now let's come to the top. And that's now come to the top. Just going to press that down a little bit there, just to make sure that's in. And these need to be quite tight. Okay, that is the system installed, okay? So, normally, you obviously have to fill it up with water. Now, sorry, excuse me, I'll just grab down here. You've got these attachments here. So if you come around the back here, you can see you can just put this onto here. Sorry, excuse my hands. Goes onto there. You can put some more black pipe onto that. So just grab some pipe onto here. Okay, and then you can put this one here. This one here will fit onto your regular garden tap. So you put that onto your tap, pop that in there. This has a float valve in it. You can see that in there. So that'll fill it up as it's required. You can also put this attachment here onto the back and then get a Nilex fitting or something like that and put your hose directly into it. So you cannot put your hose directly into this. This runs at between 0.5 psi and 3 psi. Your regular garden hose at home runs at 50 psi. Now, the last thing I'm going to just explain is, the PSI pressure. If the water is coming out here and the top of your pot is here, the water level is here, right, in the pot, that means your PSI will be running at 0.5 psi, which means each cup will be dispensing around about 225 mils a day, or a cup, let's say. So if you put it up to here and your water level's here, this is here, but your water level's up here, that's about 700 millimeters. That means it's running at 1 psi, so that'll make it 450 millimeters per cup per day. Okay, and then like in the height of summer when it's really hot, you might choose to actually put it up here to take it up a little bit higher. Any questions, any problems at all, just give us a call. So once again, just come and check that there's nothing dripping out from here. If you've cut it nice and clean and you've seeded it well, you should absolutely have no pots there. Should all be good to go.